Ferrari 488 GTB is a very interesting car, and to be honest, I've never been a huge fan of its predecessor, the 458 Italia. I initially thought that this car was essentially just a facelifted version which was turbocharged, but that is actually not the case. Over 80% of the 488 GTB is different to the Italia, and the engine, although smaller at 3.9 litres, achieves peak power at a lower RPM thanks to the turbos, over 1,000 RPM lower in fact. And not only does it produce its peak power lower, but said peak power is Enzo territory, 661 horsepower. Thanks to the fact that it's also turbo aspirated, it also puts out over 560 foot-pounds of torque, which is seriously decent for a Ferrari, which typically go for high screaming engines rather than pulling power. This car though has a decent mix of both. It weighs in under 1500 kilos, has a 7-speed gearbox, and has some seriously decent performance, to say the least. 3 seconds to 60 and a top speed of a Porsche Carrera GT rivaling 205 miles per hour, and all for a price of just over 180 grand in the UK. Not exactly bad value considering its performance, and that's a brand new Ferrari we're talking about. Pretty good value overall. As far as how good it is in DRIVECLUB, it's not necessarily the quickest of cars for pure track performance, but it sounds fantastic, it looks pretty good, and it is seriously fun to drive. You can get the tail out easily, but it's also highly controlled, and although it's not necessarily the quickest for pure lap times, it's definitely a worthwhile car to check out, purely for the fun of it.